Hi everyone, welcome to Math 130C for this summer. It's going to be a special statistics class that I'm teaching, and I'm very excited that you've signed up for it. So you've probably known from the schedule that this is a class that actually only runs 8 weeks for 1 day a week on Wednesdays. So we're going to have a very special setup, and there's going to be a lot of support for you, and we're going to hit the ground running. So that's why this orientation is really important, and you'll learn everything you need to know so that on the first day we can actually dive right into statistics. So we'll go over our Moodle shell, but first we're going to start with our syllabus. So here's our syllabus. Our class runs from May 16th to July 6th, and as I said, we're meeting on Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And the only day that's different is July 6th will be your final exam, so that will be from 9 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. And if you're wondering, there will be a lunch break in there so that you can have lunch, and I'm not going to hold you hostage for 6 hours straight. So this is going to be our Introduction to Statistics course, and the section is Math 130C. I'm your instructor, Emily Dennett. I've been teaching at COTC for 6 years, and I love teaching here. Our book is called Elementary Statistics, and it's by Triola. You won't need a hard copy of the book unless you want it. The supplies that you will need, you'll need a graphing calculator, a TI-83 or an 84. If you absolutely can't get one of these, don't drop the class. I'll have some in class that you can borrow. And then you also need a MathXL course code, student access code. And that you can buy from the bookstore or you can buy from the MathXL website, but you'll need one of those. If you've taken a class since January and you bought a 6-month code, as long as you activated it after January 6th, it will still work through July 6th. So if you have one that hasn't expired, you don't need a new one. We'll be able to transfer it. Okay, there's lots of resources available for all of your classes, and the Math Lab will be one, the Math Learning Center will be one that you'll get to know. We'll actually be meeting in the room connected to the Math Lab, and we'll have some Math Lab tutor help, which is very exciting. If you have a disability and have a documented accommodations, please let me know privately, and we'll be happy to take care of those. And we'll talk about the testing center. If there's a need for any makeup exams during the course of the summer, we'll schedule them in there. Okay, then here are some of the resources that are listed on all of the college syllabi and the college-wide policies, so please take your time. The syllabus is posted on Moodle. Please take the time to go through and read it. I'm not going to sit here and read all of them directly to you. Okay, so we're going to go through all of this again, but like I've said, this course is structured differently. It would be pretty horrible if I asked you to come 1 day a week from 9 to 3 and I stood up in the front of the classroom and just talked about statistics the whole time. So we're going to use what's called a flipped class model. So before each class, you're going to watch videos that I made, pre-recorded lectures that go over all the material. And some students have known these as zip notes in previous COTC classes. You'll have the exact notes of what I'm writing. You'll watch the videos that are all posted in Moodle, and then you'll take notes. You'll bring those notes. You don't have to know everything perfectly when you take those notes. You'll bring those notes with you to class, and during class we're going to have labs. If you took Math 080, they look very similar to those labs, and then with those labs you're going to work in groups and with my help or tutors' helps, and you're going to work through the problems, and you can get help on any parts of those, and you'll turn those in for a grade. So the nice thing here is what normally would be done as homework, you're not going to sit at home wondering how to do. You're going to be in class getting help with them. Okay, so the class is broken up into 6 units. There's a lab for each of those units. When you're done with the lab, and so the lab will take approximately the first 3 hours of the class, and it may not take you that long. It may take you a little longer, but we'll be flexible with that time. So before lunch, you'll do the lab. Then after lunch, you'll come back and you're going to take a pre-test and a test just on that material. So this is what we're going to use MathXL for. We'll have computers, and on MathXL you'll take a test. These are 10 to 20 questions just over that material. the way this is set up, we want to make sure you succeed. So if you're failing these tests, we're not just going to stick with that grade because then you won't pass the class. So if you don't get a 75% on the practice test, we're going to work with you and you'll take it again, and we have some ways to help you remediate to learn the material, and then you'll take the practice test again. Once you earn over 75% on the practice test, then you'll move into the unit test, which has a very similar setup. I'll put in a password for you that says you're ready to take it. You can use the course formula sheet during that, some scrap paper, and your graphing calculator. You'll take that test. Again, if you don't score above a 75 on the test, I'll work directly with you to help you figure out what went wrong, and then you'll take that test again. So the idea is you're going to pass every unit as you go along so that you're ready to pass that midterm and final and pass the course. That's the whole purpose of us being here. Along with those unit exams, there is one midterm worth 150 points. That will be the 4th week, whatever that day is, and then so it's after Unit 3, and it covers Units 1 through 3, and then on July 6th will be your final, and it's 200 points, and it will cover all 6 units. The policy of the college is that you, if you do need to email me, please use your COTC email. And just to let you know, since we do have this policy where you can retake tests, there are no extra credit points available in this class. So make sure you're in class every day for the whole time, and that you're ready to work, and that you take these unit tests seriously. So here's how your grade's made up. There's 6 units, so there's 6 labs that go with these units. Each of those are worth 25 points. And think of these like the homework for the class. So you are going to be doing those in class, and the benefit of that is that you're going to get help right away, either from classmates or me, and I'm willing to check them so I can let you know if you need to go back and change something before you submit it. There'll be 6 pre-tests on Math Excel, each worth 10 points. 6 unit tests, those are worth 25 points. There's a midterm practice that you'll do before the midterm on paper. The midterm and the final are on paper, not on the computer. So we have practice on paper just so you can practice just like you'll take the test, and those are worth points as well. So there's a total of 750 points. You'll always know on Moodle where your grade exactly is. And then here's a grading scale for each of the letter grades. Okay, now the last part of the syllabus before we get into the course competencies is the calendar. And I've written out the calendar like a checklist so that you can print this off and know exactly what you need to do. And so each week we'll have, since we have 6 weeks plus the midterm and the final, so 8 weeks total, but 6 weeks for class material, each week is one of the units. So starting on May 18th, we're going to work through Unit 1. So what I need you to do, and I'll go over this again before May 18th, is to watch the Unit 1 videos. And Unit 1 is broken up into 3 sections, so it'll be about 3 hours worth of videos. But you don't need to make sure that you know everything perfectly. I just need you to watch those videos at least once and take notes over them. Then in class, we're going to do the labs, and you'll check your answers before you turn it in, ask any questions. Then you'll take a practice test, and if you need to, you'll do what's known as the study plan. And then you'll test out, and that'll be Unit 1. And we'll have a very similar format for each day of class. Okay? So I recommend that you print out the syllabus and keep it with you so that you can use this like a checklist. Now let me show you exactly what our Moodle page looks like. So here's our Moodle page. We're going to go through this Welcome to the Course. And then I'll show you exactly where you need to do the first videos that I talked about before class. So here's our course. Here are the goals of the course, and these are also in the syllabus. So that's what you'll be learning. We're going to learn all about how to collect data, how to interpret data, and what that really tells us about our world. Okay, so here's the prerequisite, which you've somehow achieved. And then now we're going to talk about the setup of the course. So I'm calling it Math Together because you're going to be working together both with me and with other classmates to help learn this material. So we've talked about it a little bit, but what is a flipped course? So normally, you're sitting and watching the instructor in class, and you might have 10 other things on your mind and not really be focusing. And then you go home and you might struggle to get through all of the work. Well, it's flipped in this kind of class. So at home, you're going to watch the videos, and this is kind of the easy part of the class. You're going to sit there, watch the videos, and take notes. Then you're going to come in and do the classroom activities. Okay, so it's not an online class. You're not going to be doing everything online. You don't have to email me every question. You're not on your own. You're just going to use the internet to watch those videos that I've made especially for you. And then you'll come into class and I really get to sit down and help you and make sure we clear any gaps that you don't understand. So before class, you're going to watch the videos and I'll show you exactly where those are going to be. And this is a picture of the class I had last year. These are the students working. You know, it's okay to get up and write on the board. It's okay to move around, which is nice. It's not something you can do in every class. Okay, so the course is divided into 6 units. I know I'm going through all of this very fast, so please do read through all of this at your own pace. We have the notes, and I'll show you where you can print off those notes so you can take notes exactly on kind of the guided sheets. Then we'll have our lab, which I'll bring for you. You don't need to print that out. And then your pre-test and your unit tests are in Math Excel, and that's why we require that Math Excel code. Okay, and then I've explained how the practice tests work and how the midterm and final. So here's kind of a way to look at it, and this flow chart isn't going to be as relevant for since we're only meeting 1 day a week. In a class that meets more than 1 day a week, you do about 1 section of the notes and 1 section of the lab a day. You'll be doing that whole lab no matter how many sections it is per week. Okay, so you're going to do the notes, do the lab, come to class, do the pre-test. If you don't get a 75, we'll talk about how you can improve that. Then you'll take the unit test. If you don't get a 75, we'll practice so you can take it again. Once you're done with that, you're done with that unit. You move on to the next unit. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the expectations. From me, you can expect timely feedback. So I'll grade those labs and tests and get them all into Moodle within 48 hours of the class. And I'll assure you that I'll, have everything working properly. I have a solid knowledge and enthusiasm for the content, and I'll be professional when I'm dealing with you. What I expect from you is to come to class by watching all those videos and write down any questions you have. I expect you to be professional in class, or if you're emailing me. And please ask questions if you get confused. I can't help if I don't know what you're stuck on. And then you can read, this is a little bit more for fun, but math class normally gets a bad rap. And so here's why I designed the course this way. Sometimes lectures are too fast or too slow, or you get stuck on a homework problem. So go ahead and read this so that you understand what the class is like. Okay. Now I want to show you where you're going to go to watch the videos. Okay, so when you log into Moodle, this is what you're going to see. We went through this course materials. It'll say getting started. It just needs to be changed. The second folder is for Unit 1. So you're going to click on here. You can read all about what we're going to study in Unit 1. Unit 1 is going to be a lot of definitions. Here's right from the syllabus what we're covering in Unit 1. And Unit 1 covers from your textbook chapters 1, 2, and 3. I know this says outside of class 2 weeks, but that's normally for a class that meets for fewer hours. So this will just take you 1 week. So here, this outside of class material is where you're going to go. You're going to click on this link that says guided notes. It will take you to the notes, and you'll print this off. Let us know if you're having trouble printing off, and we'll get you a copy somehow. And you'll see, these are some bad examples. This is exactly what you'll see in the videos. And so you'll see me writing the answers to these questions, and that's what you'll fill in. So there are 3 sections for this unit, and you'll go through all 3 of them. So when you click on these links for section A, all of the videos show up right here in order, so you know exactly what you need to watch. And you can make these bigger. If you're not able to get to Moodle for some reason, say you're on a phone or an iPad or something that's just not working, if you go to YouTube and type in COTC flipped math, then I have a channel. So we're going to go into that channel. And you can see for all the different classes, here's the Math 130 videos. and all of the Unit 1 videos. So it's 23 videos total. Most of them are very short that you need to watch. Okay, so you'll go through sections A, B, and C of